a KQED television production.
I'm telling you right now, I am hungry.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by
Redwood Credit Union, community banking for the North Bay and San Francisco. Business and personal, online and mobile, plus nationwide ATMs. Banking for people who call this place home.
Sutter Health CPMC announcing its newly opened Mission Bernal Hospital with all private rooms and comprehensive labor and delivery services. SutterHealth.org/Mission Bernal. Total Wine & More, offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More, now with 8 Bay Area locations. TotalWine.com. IRG has thousands of surfaces in stock now. Surfaces, selection, service. IRG at MarbleCompany.com. Oakland International Airport, now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sbrocco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. Now we have 3 guests and each one recommends one of their favorite spots and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. In this episode, we revisit 3 eateries that take us on a journey through San Francisco and on an exploration of authentic flavors from around the world. We begin at a place on Green Street where you can inhale the air filled with fragrant spices as they prepare fine Persian cuisine. It's where corporate sales manager Shanam Devani from season 9 remembers savoring dinners with his family. Now he's bringing his son to dine there. His spot is called Maykadeh Restaurant.
My dream was always to come to America since we did not have a freedom in Iran. At age 17, I came here to go to college and I had to support myself. So I started working in restaurants at night. Now I've been doing that for like 51 years now. My name is Mahmoud Khususi. My nickname is Mo, and the name of my restaurant is Maykadeh. Maykadeh means house of wine, but it's more than that. In a Muslim world, alcohol is forbidden, but in this little oasis, you can serve alcohol. It's served by beautiful ladies. We didn't have any Maykadeh in Iran for 400 years. That's the reason I chose the name Maykadeh for my restaurant. Persian cuisine is an aromatic cuisine, and the most expensive spice in the world, is saffron, and the best comes from Iran. I could say all the restaurants put together in San Francisco, they do not use saffron as much as we use in this small restaurant here. We use a top quality saffron, the best rice that comes from India, and I put my chefs against any Persian chefs anywhere in the world. I want my customers when they come over here to have a wonderful experience with the food that is different but yet familiar, and sitting in a restaurant that is the most aromatic restaurant in the whole city of San Francisco.
Okay, Shanam, this place has been open for 30 years. I mean, that's remarkable in the San Francisco dining scene.
It has been, and one of the beauties of this restaurant is that in the Persian community, I believe it's the oldest one that's lasted. It was a meeting place for everyone. When all the Persian events were held in San Francisco, everybody would meet there first. There was a wait for an hour or 2 outside. But what's happened over the years, the reviews have come in, so now it's not just catered to the Persians.
Right.
You have everyone else from the Bay Area coming there. My favorite there is called the Sultani, which literally means fit for a king. It's a filet mignon skewered, and you get a second skewer of ground lamb and beef. And it's grilled over mesquite with basmati rice. One of the traditional salad that we have is called the salad Shirazi, and it's diced cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and it's more like a condiment to the basmati rice. And then they make their own yogurt with dried shallots. It's called masta musir.
Karen, what did you have when you went to Maykadeh? And was this a surprise to you?
Yeah, it was a surprise. I didn't know much about Persian cuisine. I had a Persian cocktail. I had something called the Persian Lady. It was vodka, and there was a lot of pomegranate juice things on the menu, and it was delicious. And I enjoyed the appetizers the most. We had this eggplant and garlic warm delicious thing, and we dipped the bread into it, and it was just really yummy.
And you get the pita bread and the radishes and the right?
Oh, it was just
Correct.
amazing. I loved that part. I travelled once through the Middle East for 5 months, actually backpacked, and this was the best pita bread and the best basmati rice I've ever had. Both of those things were just so light and fluffy and clean tasting.
You're
and so
making me hungry right
it was unbelievable. The pita bread, we actually had to stop ourselves eating for it because the portions are so huge of the food. I actually chose the tongue. We had a lot in New Zealand. Lamb tongue, yeah.
Yes.
So it was incredibly moist and soft. And I loved the saffron with it. It made it very sort of delicate. The only thing for me was the sour cream, maybe a bit too creamy for me.
Eating offal, you can eat head to tail, really, of the animals in there.
One of the things I liked on the table was that big dish of, I think it's called sumac. It's like a maroon-colored spice, and I just loved it. I've never seen such a large portion of that on any table, so it was really fun to sprinkle that over the rice.
Correct. That comes from a flour. Just like saffron does. They use real Iranian saffron. You know, it's expensive.
Expensive to use.
And that's why you get that melts in your mouth flavor.
And that's what they're known for, is kebabs and meats. And,
Kebabs and the stews, yes.
And the
yes.
stews. Mm-hmm.
They also have a lot of vegetarian dishes.
I went with a bunch of girlfriends. I had a few vegetarians at the table, and they were very happy with what they had. I had the steak. It was sliced thin. I think there was some lemon or lime on top. And the plates of rice were the largest plates of rice I think I've ever seen. I could have fed an army. Yeah, but it was fun to taste all the plates. I had a lamb shank with mine, and it was just so delicious and falls right off the bone.
And what else, Jody, did you
Well,
have?
I want to
Because of
go
your
back for
experience,
that, actually.
You want to go back to the lamb
Yeah,
shank?
we had the lamb stew with the lentils, and then it had this really unusual thing where it had like little fries, like little pickup sticks on the top of it.
It's called the qaimeh.
Oh, it was, I've never seen that before. And just the warmth of the stew and then the crunchiness of the pickup sticks. And you wouldn't think of lamb stew as being light, but somehow it was. And the service was amazing. I mean, we went on a sort of slow Tuesday night, but there was loads of stuff, people coming and bringing the bread and all the condiments and filling up your water glass all the time. But also there was like a warmth there.
They treat everyone like family. I mean, it's always been that way. That's one of his successes, Mahmoud is there greeting everybody. Sasha is there, his right-hand person.
You really mattered. Your opinion mattered. They really wanted to impress you. It was great. And also the fact that you could have a really good conversation. I'm sounding like an oldie, but these days I like to have a good conversation with people instead of yelling at each other.
One of the traditions that we have is the Persian tea at the end. It's almost like a digestive. It's actually the best part of the meal because you just sit back.
I use alcohol for that.
Yeah. You just sit back, and that's when actually the conversation over the table with whomever you're with.
We had this amazing the pear with the Shiraz reduction, and then the ice cream with pistachios in it, and the combination of that creamy, rich reduction and the sharpness of the pear and the ice cream was just incredible. I thought that was beautiful. And the baklava, normally I don't like baklava, but it wasn't too sweet and cloying. It was just right, just fluffy and just right. Yeah.
I have to say, I tried one of the most unusual desserts I've ever had. I've eaten a lot of desserts, and this was called falude.
I knew you were going to say
it's
that.
like frozen rice noodles.
It's like shaved rice noodles, but frozen, correct. And then they usually have it with the Persian rice with the pistachio. You have a little bit of each.
Yeah.
They go really well together.
Did you like it or not? I see your face and you're going,
we all tried it, and it wasn't my favorite, but I'm glad that I tried it. It
Did
was
you have
something
it with
totally
the ice
different.
cream or without?
We tried every dessert on the menu. Yeah.
All right, this is your restaurant, Shanam. Wrap it up for us.
Best Persian cuisine in California, without a doubt, maybe the country.
All right, and Karen?
I would go if you want to try something new and different with a bunch of friends.
Okay, Jody.
Don't fill up on the pita bread, but white linen and very gracious staff.
If you would like to try Maykadeh, it's on Green at Grant Avenue in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-362-8286. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is around $35. Our next guest appeared in season 11. Retreat Center Director Tom Powers joined us to talk about the contemporary take on Sri Lankan cuisine that can be found at his pick. Indian spices join local ingredients and traditional French techniques in the kitchen of a classically trained chef to make vibrant, colorful small plates that appeal to all senses. The result is delivered as a modern, upscale experience at 1601 Bar and Kitchen.
We're doing what we like to call modern Sri Lankan food, but this is very much a chef-driven restaurant. My name is Fernando. I'm the head chef at 1601 Bar and Kitchen. I run the restaurant with my wife, and she's in charge of the front of the house, and I'm in charge of the kitchen.
Steep some konbu seaweed.
My background is in fine dining, formal French training, but we've chosen at the restaurant to kind of weave in my ethnic background and use traditional Sri Lankan flavors.
Good luck.
As far as I know, we're the only people that are doing Sri Lankan food in the Bay Area, whether traditional or our version of it. The presentations especially, I think, are unique to the restaurant. A typical Sri Lankan meal, you get more of a buffet style, whereas we like to serve things as individual courses. So you're getting the experience of a Sri Lankan meal, but over a greater period of time. We put a lot of time and effort into our wine list here as well. So we want to have that wine progression match the food progression.
Take a kale salmon to 42.
Entrepreneurs are the people who work 100 hours a week so they don't have to work 40 hours for somebody else. And we're still the first people in the restaurant and the last people out every single day. I feel like if we weren't running the restaurant ourselves, we would never be able to do this concept.
Tom, tell us about this place because you have traveled all over the world. How did you find this spot?
Friends coming from LA, they're gourmands. They eat out 4 or 5 times a week. I needed something different. I did my research and I went, Sri Lankan, really? But we got in there and the decor is wonderful. The staff was immensely friendly. And then the food started coming out. And some of those dishes I go back again and again and again with different people and enjoy. Brian the chef, his father's from Sri Lanka, and his father is very proud of his smoked salmon recipe. And I found out recently that he actually has agreed now that Brian's smoked salmon is better. It is better. Melts in your mouth. It's smoked right there in the restaurant, and it's an extraordinary dish. The kale salad, and we've talked about kale. I found out something there that I had never heard before, and that is they dress the kale salad several hours before, and it marinates. And that kale salad then is flexible and soft and not sort of the crunchy, chewy stuff that you can sometimes get with kale salad. And then there's this dish that's Sri Lankan street food that you grew up eating.
Yeah.
And
we're going to get, he's from Sri Lanka, so we'll get you in just 1 second here.
And it's the egg hopper, and it's this lacy bowl, edible bowl of rice flour and coconut, and inside a perfectly cooked egg served with sambals, which are these different mixes of spices and cooked onion and peppers that you mix with the egg. Extraordinary experience.
So I want to have you from Sri Lanka, right?
Yes. So,
Give us your take on this restaurant because it's not a purist Sri Lankan restaurant.
Absolutely. I think that is the key to know is that you're not going to go to this restaurant and expect authentic Sri Lankan food.
Right.
This is Sri Lankan food gone fancy.
Right.
And so, the egg hopper is a street food, and I think they do it extremely well. The egg hopper is actually a really hard thing to nail down because the edges are so crispy and it's so thin that it takes an incredible chef to be able to do that. And so I think that dish was purely authentic to Sri Lanka. But I also had the lobster kottu roti, which is also a comfort Sri Lankan food.
Right.
I must say that if you're just given that to me without telling me it was Sri Lankan, I would have not guessed it to be kottu roti. It was just very different in how it was prepared. It was almost like a salad of sorts, but it's actually an entree in Sri Lanka. But the lobster on it was so interesting. I've never had lobster kottu roti. I mean, I appreciated the innovation in the dish. And one of the dishes that we kind of took ownership of was the lump rice, which was the duck lump rice. And this was a really interesting take on it. I must say that I was not necessarily a fan of the lump rice itself, but the duck that came with it was really, really good. I could eat that duck. It was crispy and moist, and duck done right.
Duck done right. All right, Vanya, get in here with these two guys.
Sure.
What's your take on this?
I was ready for new things. So when I saw the menu, I ordered the kale salad. I loved it. You were right. It was very soft and it was very marinated, really nice and light. Then I tried the egg hopper, and it blew my mind. It was a really different. I love the I'm so into presentation,
right?
So I love the presentation, that crepe, and you can eat. And and then I also had the salmon, not too strong, not too mild. Very soft. I mean, it was really very delicious. It was one of my favorite dishes there.
So the egg hopper is completely authentic. The lump rice is definitely Sri Lankan inspired, but a completely different take. The kottu roti, like I said, was also very authentic. But I would say those are the three big Sri Lankan staples on the menu that we're like, this is so distinctly Sri Lankan that you wouldn't be able to get this in an Indian restaurant.
Right.
You know?
There's one chocolate dessert that is extraordinary, and it's Valrhona chocolate.
Valrhona, from the Valley of the Rhone in France. Valrhona.
And which I had not known about. And
that was really, I think it was my favorite part of the meal. And it had a coconut-laced cookie on top, as you mentioned. And it was really, you could eat that for days.
And they have quite a wine list.
They're heavy on the white because that goes really well with the Sri Lankan food. But they also have, for instance, this Indian wine. I didn't know
they do make wine
it was
in India,
such a thing, and it's smoky. And if you had said to me, have a glass of Indian smoky wine, I'd say, no, I'll pass. It's amazing. You have to try it.
Wow. The only thing that I do wish that they did is that the decor could be more Sri Lankan. They had very San Francisco art, and I think Sri Lanka has very distinct art and culture, and it'd be really fun to be able to, change up the atmosphere and feel like you're going to some exotic country.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is your spot. Give us a quick summary, Tom.
Easy parking. What a gift from San Francisco. Wonderful environment, terrific staff, and food that's unusual without being weird.
All right, and Vanya?
I would say, it's a trip to a different place with an experience of wonderful staff and a very unique food.
All right.
It's worth going there just for the service. It is truly exceptional.
It is.
If you would like to try 1601 Bar and Kitchen, it's on Howard Street at 12th in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-552-1601. It's open for dinner Tuesday through Saturday. Reservations are recommended, and the average dinner tab per person without drinks is around $60. And finally, we step back to Season 8, where we learned about horse trainer Jill Hamilton, who pursues her passion and lives her dream, trotting through pastures, competing at events, and ponying over to her favorite, cozy restaurant tucked away in the Castro. It looks like a regular home until you climb the stairs to the front door to find silent movies playing out on a wall, waiters scurrying around, a bar, and plenty of small tables designed for intimate dinners. Look for this poetic spot, of course. It's called Poesia.
This is a Victorian house, and I try to treat people that come here like they're coming to my house to visit. My name is Francesco Di Polito. The restaurant is Poesia. That means poetry in Italian. I'm from Calabria, the south of Italy. Some of the recipes on the menu are actually family recipe, and those comes from a book that my sister Gabriella gave to me. Pasta that's handmade, my favorite, they're called fileggi. It's made around a knitting needle. It's a typical shape of pasta from Calabria. We change the menu on a seasonal base. Even those recipes, of course, are based on what's in season. The chef Giuseppe is from the same hometown where I'm from. It's from Lamezia Terme in Calabria. Coming from the same hometown, we understand each other easily when it comes to deciding on what ingredients, what recipe, what do we want to create when we design the menu. The moment I open the door at 5:30, I just think about enjoying my time with my clients. So that is the best part of my work.
All right, Jill, let's talk about Poesia because it means poetry, doesn't it?
It does.
In
and
Italiano.
I think going to that restaurant is like experiencing a little bit of poetry. It's you walk in the door, they're happy to see you. It's like walking into someone's house.
It is.
And being seated and having that kind of an experience.
Although in your house, do you play movies on the wall?
I do.
I love the movies on the wall
Wasn't
concept.
that fun? And it's always like the old Sophia Loren movies. I mean, it's really fun movies that you probably haven't seen since you were a kid, and they're black and white. It's great. You know, you have a cocktail. I like the basil martini. The bartender's adorable. He makes a wonderful drink.
Which bartender was that?
Teddy. Very cute, very sweet. And it's just
Fiona Francesco's not too bad himself.
no, they're all so cute. Yes.
He welcomed us at the door with
They
this
do.
Buenos
I
Aires.
know.
And I was like, we're back in Italy.
It is.
And
It's like being at someone's
all of
home
us
in
had
Italy.
been
Yes.
to Italy before, and I think we were all immediately like taken back.
Yes.
Like,
You just
walk
feel
in,
welcomed.
Yeah, you walk in and he greets you right at the door.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I couldn't even believe when I walked in. It was just like walking into his house.
Yeah.
It is. You know,
And let's talk about the food because
the food was fantastic. I
What
mean,
did you
from
have,
start to finish. I started with the kale salad.
Yes, I had that every time.
Marvelous.
Fantastic.
And I was really struck that an upscale Italian restaurant would even have a kale salad, but it was so perfectly paired with the fennel and the apples that were so crisp and fresh.
And the dressing was just perfect.
It's perfect.
It didn't take away from the kale. It didn't take away from the crunch of the fennel or the apples. It just added to it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And we went right on to the bread soup, the tomato bread soup,
which is a signature dish.
which is a signature dish, and we've shared it. And the flavor of the tomatoes just shines through. That's the thing I love about that place is every ingredient is allowed to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
There's
amazing.
not. It's
Did
just
anybody have the gnocchi with the saffron sauce?
No.
No.
Okay, so it comes with mussels, which I'm not into. That's what my husband ordered. He ate the mussels, but I tried the gnocchi and the saffron. I mean, it was like little gnocchi clouds swimming in, saffron deliciousness. It was all of our plates were clean when they came.
Oh, yeah.
And the bread
fresh
is
bread.
lovely. The bread is great.
And
Yeah, you can
really
scoop up the
delicious
sauce.
local olive oil.
The bread is nice.
Absolutely.
They put a little bit, it's homemade bread,
Yes.
with a little bit of, it's spicy. There's like a little bit of crushed peppers in the bread. So the bread is a little bit spicy.
What did you eat, Jeff?
I had the beet salad, goat cheese and beet salad was amazing. A layer of beets with the goat cheese on top, a nice little arugula salad on top with some fresh pine nuts. And it was the most beautiful dish I think we've ever seen.
Was beautiful. Yeah, the presentation is an A+.
Is there a stylist that brings the food out? And it was the most beautiful salad. My wife took a picture of it, and she's like, "Have you seen a salad?"
My friend got that,
and the dots of sauce on the sides of dishes.
yeah.
I mean, they take such care. It's meticulous. The presentation is meticulous. We had the orecchietta with the tomato sauce and hen of the woods mushrooms from the farmer's market. I mean, it's seasonal. They go to the farmer's market. They pick the ingredients that are good.
The food really shines because of it.
We ordered a gluten-free pasta,
which is hard to do in an Italian restaurant.
We've never had a gluten-free pasta that actually didn't taste gluten-free.
Right. Yes.
You know, and it was amazing. And the owner came out and he sat down and he talked to my wife how he makes it, where his recipes were. He sat for 10 minutes. He didn't have to do that.
They take pride in what they do. I mean, it's just
amazing.
every
They were
piece
very
of it
good.
is.
So that's really speaking to the service. You've all
yes.
Service is great.
Yes.
And about wine, because their wine list is
great wine.
Oh, it's an amazing. I mean, really, you could spend an hour just.
Because they educate you about the grape varieties and regions, and most of it's Italian, but you really get to learn it.
It was very informative, and we just end up asking about,
that's what
we're
did too.
interested in.
Yes.
So honoring our price point, what we were looking for, I thought that was really great
and they're
service.
So knowledgeable, and they want you to have something that's exactly what you want. They let us taste a couple. I mean, it's fantastic.
The specialty drinks. Each specialty drink was made from one of the movies that he was playing.
Yeah,
we didn't. I didn't even know that. Teddy came by and we were like, "Oh, what?" My wife was like, "What movie's playing?"
Isn't that great?
And he pulled out the menu and he goes, "Oh, here's the movie, and it's a drink."
So sweet.
So whatever movie they're playing, they have a drink. Italian movie.
It's just a level of attention to detail.
Fantastic.
The attention to detail is really remarkable there.
And you had the ravioli?
I had the ravioli, which was the special of the night. It was a beet ravioli, which was
nice.
It was beautiful. They were kind of this rosé color,
beautiful.
and again, really nicely plated.
Yes.
Very simple. It was in a, but the sage butter sauce wasn't heavy. It was very light and just kind of
letting the flavor shine through.
Again, really
yes.
letting the flavor shine through, and it was great. And again, 5 ravioli isn't that much, but it was with my salad and then a little bit of dessert. It was actually perfect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we cannot leave this place without a little, red velvet tiramisu and dessert.
The tiramisu, the presentation in that mason jar. I've never seen it that way before. And it was really fun. Yeah,
the
go back.
crushed ladyfingers on top, and very creamy.
Delicious.
It was creamy.
That hint of orange, Grand Marnier.
And alcohol.
Yeah,
A little
That was the first thing we tasted. It's like, woo.
We had the chocolate mousse. It had a little side of mascarpone, and then it had olive oil, rich and chocolatey. Oh,
It was dense. It was still, yes, I've had that. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Jill, this is your spot. Wrap it up for us, please.
It's a great place to go. It's a family. You feel like you're walking into someone's house and they're just feeding you the freshest of ingredients, done in this beautiful Italian style.
All right, Michelle.
I think it was fantastic from start to finish. Everything was delicious. It was definitely on the higher end of price, so I would save it more for a special occasion, but I think we'll definitely be back.
All right, and Jack?
Everything was just amazing. We'll be back.
If you would like to try Poesia, it's on 18th Street at Castro in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-252-9325. It's open for dinner every day. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $35. If you missed these places the first time around, we hope you've enjoyed a look back at 3 great spots in San Francisco. Now you have a chance to check them out, thanks to Shanam Devani, whose restaurant serves up traditional Persian cuisine with a warm welcome at Maykadeh restaurant, and Tom Powers, who discovered the unique flavors of contemporary Sri Lankan cuisine at 1601 Bar and Kitchen. And Jill Hamilton, who brought poetry to motion at her cozy Italian spot of Poesia. So join us next time when 3 new guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sbrocco, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
So now it's your turn. We want to hear from you if you visited any of our Check Please restaurants. You can post a selfie on Instagram, join the conversation on Facebook, and tweet us anytime. And don't forget to visit our website. All the shows are there, along with my wine videos and notes about the wines we drink on set. You'll also find our fun new web series, Taste This, where we celebrate food and drinks around the Bay. Cheers.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by Oakland International Airport, now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com. IRG has thousands of surfaces in stock now. Surfaces, selection, service. IRG at MarbleCompany.com. Total Wine & More, offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More, now with 8 Bay Area locations. TotalWine.com. Sutter Health CPMC announcing its newly opened Mission Bernal Hospital with all private rooms and comprehensive labor and delivery services. SutterHealth.org/Mission Bernal.
Redwood Credit Union, community banking for the North Bay and San Francisco. Business and personal, online and mobile, plus nationwide ATMs. Banking for people who call this place home.